What was it like back then?
It was great because I was just a kid, and my mom, I kind of made it really hard on her to be around me because I didn't want to be here. I wanted to be in Tijuana. I had a gig in there, playing guitar, and we would play for an hour, and for the next hour, the strippers would do their thing. They
so
strip.
you were playing in strip clubs?
Yeah, in Tijuana. So
I didn't know they had strip clubs down there.
yeah,
You're kidding.
Oh yeah. And so, you know, to come back to America and then start all over again in junior high school, that was like, no, that's not an option. I'm going to go back over there.
You probably missed your friends.
You know, so it was fun. My education was like everything. You know, I was watching drummers really support strippers because the way they walk, it's like, doom, 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 doom,
yeah,
doom,
yeah.
doom, doom,
The kicks and their moves, right?
And they take, you know.
Yeah.
So a role of the drummer is very supportive, especially when ladies don't know how to do it. And you got to help them to look good by how they walk and how they, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, oh man, the drummers are like, you know, I always notice that the drummer's role is really important. It's not just holding time. It's like, what is that, you know?
Yeah. Hal Blaine, who I had the good chance to become friends with, he started, and was it in Chicago, Don? Was Hal in Chicago? And he worked in all the gangster strip clubs. And that was where the same thing. He learned visually how to and he told me it really helped him when he would be interpret singers and the lyrics and what they were trying to get across, and how he would play, listening to inflection and lots of really musical stuff. But he got that starting from the strippers. We were playing, and it was just what you said. The accents, when they would do a kick or they would do a move, and each of them had their own different things, and he was very supportive and at the same time kind of inspired them too, you know?
It's a language.
It's exactly, they were having,
you know, there's a language to being an accountant or a lawyer. Everything is a language. The language of the drum is grace for me. And the biggest mistake that a lot of drummers make is to think that they're supposed to hold your hand and hold time for you. Right. Like, I'm a grown man. You don't have to hold time for me, man. I need for you to
I'm a grown man.
You know, play, not time for me. You don't have to hold my hand.
I got it.
You know?
I know, I can tap my foot.
You know, and I think that frees them and frees me too, to not be walking like we're handcuffed to each other.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were talking earlier about how important the ears are in listening, and Cindy was saying that's a muscle, you know, and to be, and certainly any kind of music to where you're having a conversation with other musicians on stage, and to be such a good, and be a listener, and that's really, really, really important. I think sometimes the younger kids I see, sometimes they're so caught up in their technique and how fast and this, that, and the other, that they don't work on their listening. Actually, it takes, you know, to be able to have a conversation with somebody on stage, musically, or in the studio, whenever you're making music, that it is a conversation. It's not what you play, oh, I'm going to mimic what you're playing. Sometimes there's things in unison that are powerful and great, but actually, you know, especially jazz musicians are so good at that, and the good ones that have that musical conversation, and you're comping and supporting, but at the same time inspiring and leading, and sometimes you lead and sometimes I lead, and that whole dynamic is really, to me, we're playing, the human element of playing music is so powerful to me, and I really look forward to find like-minded musicians that play like that. And it seems like the guys that, you know, that you play and have had in your group and are like that, and that's really important. Do you think through jazz, like when you were getting into Miles? When did you get into Miles and Coltrane and those guys?
It was Michael Shreves who brought me a lot of records of just
the drummer.
The drummer. And man, I owe everything to the drummers, and God is a drummer, okay?
You think God is a drummer?
I know he's an incredible drummer, man. I mean, you know, God to me is like one big number one circle, like like this, and it's Elvin and Tony and Jack and, you know, and Roy and like that, you know, and Buddy Rich. And all of them have one thing in common, man. They can uplift you out of your existence into a place where you start believing that you can do the impossible as well. That's what drummers do. You know, I mean, how else can I put it, that they actually uplift you out of your existence into so you can remember that you also have that grace, energy, imagination to make people feel like they need you, because we all need to be needed. Yeah. And that's one of the basic things that human beings. I love it when people say, you know, I need for you to, you know, Caravanserai or Sampati or this and that, you know, because they grew up making love to these songs, you know, in the back of a car or wherever they made love, you know. Yep. And I was just reading about how important, you know, it still is for all musicians to remember to be present in this moment and take it the highest way that you can take it, and then celebrate it. And I think that all of us, the inner child in you and the inner child in me, the innocence, man, we love the 4th of July, because you know at the very end it's going to be a big crescendo, you know, the lights and the sound. And it's no different than a drum solo or a guitar solo, and build it to a mounting orgasm crescendo of emotions and grace and colors, and that's what people remember when they go home. It becomes. But how many musicians practice this in their psyche? Making music that is moments outside of time, so it will be memorable. So to make a moment outside of time, you can't think. If you think, you screw up.
Yeah, you're not in the moment anymore.
You're not in the moment, because thinking and time, they're tied together. You know, people say in America a lot, time is money, you're wasting my time. And I go, well, then keep both, you know? I want the other stuff, man. I want the stuff that's like,
you can have that.
Yeah. And people remember that. They say, you know, such day, you know, when I saw you, but there was something that you did, man, that it took me, and this is the best compliment that people can give you. You touched me in a place I've never been touched before.
As long as you're not an old man with a young, small child. Okay. No, I totally agree with you, because I think it can be unexpected. Maybe people are hoping, and there's hope, but not always does it happen. But when you play something that you're in the moment, and you know, play your music, and you're playing a concert, and you've played these songs a few times, you know, and there's certain songs that people want to hear when they come to see our group and your group. There's a few songs that like people really connect with and want to hear, and we play those songs for those people. And they're like, wow, you know, I hope they do blah 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 song, and you do it, and they've heard it in their car, or they made love to it, or the great thing about music is that one of the great things is it takes you back to that place and time, and I have it with so many records, which is so great thing about music. And then when you're in the room with them, and you're playing that music, and they're experiencing it, you're doing it the best to your ability, and not always do you have that crescendo or that everything's working together, and we were talking earlier about the hairs on your arms going up, you know? Doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's really beautiful and magical, and that will connect with those people, and especially the people that really have a vested memory or interest in that song. It really means a lot to them, and when you play it live and they connect with that in the moment, it's a beautiful thing, man. And like you're saying, and they go, that really touched me in a place that I've never
been touched before.
And that's fantastic.
They're affirming that all of us need to dwell a lot in what Wayne Shorter calls completely new, totally familiar. You know, even non-musicians have a forgotten song inside them that we inspire them to hear it. Even non-musicians, a plumber, a brain surgeon, but everybody has a forgotten song inside them, and it takes a musician, sound resonance vibration, to activate that person's song, and then they say, wow, you know, it took a musician to help me remember what my calling is, what my purpose is. You never hear a plumber woke me up to my calling. Okay? I'm just saying. It always takes a musician, man, you know, because a musician is gifted with the sound resonance vibration of the Holy Ghost. You know, even an atheist needs inspiration and vision. All right? I mean...
But atheists love music just as much as everybody loves music.
Yeah.
Some kind of music, right?
And it's okay. You don't have to call him God. You don't have to call him anything.
Yeah.
But you're still going to say his name when you make love. Oh, my... You can't say, oh, me, or oh, whatever.
Oh, God!
You know? So there it is. And utilizing the tools, man, the drums, the melody, you know, and the rhythms, it helps us penetrate the heart of the listener into such a place where I seen Miles Davis at the Fillmore East and West make people who were totally high straight. People who were totally straight high. People who were smoking like a bunch of joints, man, and they're like, they hear Jack and like, damn. They put, you know, and then they're like, whoosh, they're totally straight, like, all of a sudden, and I've seen people who are totally straight be like, whoa, you know? It's incredible that music can activate, ignite, and infuse something in humans, and I call it on a molecular level. We rearrange molecular structure by sound. And that's what we call it, getting chills or crying and laughing, or, you know, we literally retransfigurate molecular structure on people when we play. You know, when you see people doing air drums or air guitar, some ladies play the whole band. You know, because they can't help themselves. Like, you know, they can't just go like this anymore or like that.
They look like they're having seizures, but they're just rocking out, right?
And to me, that's the barometer of like, okay, band, you see her, we're doing good, man. That she is an affirmation that all the accumulation of what you know and what you feel and what you have, she is that flag that's telling you which way the wind is blowing and what's happening, you know? And so I got to have, if I don't see women dancing, you know, then I looked at my band like, okay, you all need to like really, really be present, man. I need two things, spirituality and sensuality. I gotta have that in every song. Because those are the two things that makes human free.